What's up, everybody? My name is Josh, and what I got here is a plumbing issue. So the customer's saying that they aren't getting hot water. It's lukewarm. This house was built years ago, probably in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s, probably even before then. This is Old Town Fair Oaks. That's original, galvanized pipe. That's copper. So, and that's a shark bite. So there's 3 generations of stuff here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pressure test. I believe that's going to be the cold line. That's galvanized steel. So I imagine that galvy would be the cold. So I'm going to remove this hot line, this 90, and I'm going to attach. This is my pressure gauge, and it's attached to a 1/2-inch shark bite, and it goes to a 3/4 MIP, and I have that directly set up to my pressure gauge, and I'm going to diagnose and see if they're getting water pressure here, because on the other, I just did a pressure test near the bathroom, or not the bathroom, but the kitchen faucet, and that was completely gummed up with calcium and a whole bunch of crap. So it could be relevant over here. Given that it's shark bite, in copper, I wouldn't imagine it's going to be bad. So it could just be a shower cartridge issue. And maybe that could just be, the solution. But I want to see the pressure and seeing how much hot water is, dumping out over here opposed to anywhere else. And see, what, we can come up for, a solution, make sure these tenants have hot water. But let's see. Let me try to get started. So, given that might be the cold, I'm going to get started over here. Here's a little trick I learned. Let's see, I'm using both my phone as a light and my tablet as the recording device. So a trick I learned is actually you can use, a crescent wrench, and you get it, instead of using the removal tool for shark bite, you can just use a crescent wrench. It's essentially the same shit, but you just pretty much get to the size of the pipe, make sure you're good there, and then you just, push in and then pull. So that's what I'm going to do now. I might need 2 hands to do this, so I'm going to put it like right there for you guys. Let's see, slide that over. Bam. Oh shit. Okay. That's that shark bite. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cap on one end so it doesn't loop through and blow out a whole bunch of water when I test it. Okay? So give me a moment. Put the fucking cap on so it stops leaking momentarily. Okay. We're good there. So bam. That's the pressure gauge. Shark bitten into the copper line. I'm going to remove the remaining of that 90 and then cap it. Okay. So bear with me just for a moment. I'm going to remove that 90 that's on the lower end right there. Give me a second. Let me see. Bam. Bam. It's one remove 90. Something like that. And what the hell is that? Goddamn. Alright, here's that cap. Boom. Cappy, cappy, cap. inside, it doesn't look bad. That's just me looking at it right now. Okay. So here we are. Boom. Pressure test. Alright, that's pressure gauge. And the cap. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to the meter and turn on the water and come back and see what it's reading at. Alright, I'm back here. So this is a meter. I'm going to turn it back on to do that pressure test. And I want to show you guys another trick. So everybody wants to, use a goddamn meter key to turn the water meter, on and off. But I learned a trick from a union plumber in the Bay Area. Badass plumber. We unfortunately had a falling out, but that's a basin wrench. And it's used for sinks to turn or get the nuts off from the bottom. But this swivels back and forth, so you can turn the key on or off. So, after you flip it, because you can, rotate that fucker and then go that way with it. So it goes boom that way, and it also goes that way. So I'm gonna end up turning it back on. Let's see if I can do this one hand. Right there. Yeah, buddy, I'm a fucking savage. So yeah, that's how you turn the water meter on with a fucking basin wrench. Because I'm a fucking savage. Alright. Turn some goddamn water off. Or the hose bib off. I forgot to mention something. Whenever you turn on the water, you want to make sure something's open, especially like at the highest point, just a couple things, like fixtures open. That way, it doesn't blow out any fixtures. Now remember, when you attach those fucking pressure gauges, make sure they're tight. So I thought I was really badass and could get it on hand tight on that shark bite. And I don't know if you can really quite see it, but a little bit of water came out. It wasn't like it fucking was spewing out everywhere, but it was it sprung a leak and it was spraying. So didn't bring my tools in with me because all I thought I needed was just that tool. But I guess I needed to go back and get a couple more channel locks and pinch one end and tighten down that fucking gauge. So right now, I don't know if you can quite see it, but that pressure gauge is 50, that's 100, 050. That's just about at 75, 80 degrees, or 80 PSI. So somewhere along this line right here, I'm gonna see what they got up there. So I'm gonna follow that. Bam. That's that line. Boom. And